Well, hi guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm out here. I've been working in the shop today. It's about 5:30, I think. I spent a good part of the afternoon out here doing some sandblasting. I've got a couple of parts here, sandblasted. Pulley that goes under the bottom of the transmission, that would be our input pulley. And this is our intake manifold, and I started sandblasting this shifter rod, but it's too hard to swing around in there. It's too big to go inside my cabinet very well, so I sandblasted some of it, and then I ended up finishing it off with a one of these. I can never remember what it is. One of these wheels here. Yeah, it takes rust off real good. So I did that. And I had sandblasted. This was a pulley that actually came on the transmission here. And I had sandblasted this, but you'll notice that, and sorry for the shaky hand, you'll notice there's a stain around here and around the set screw, and you'll notice a stain over here. Well, evidently there's some oil down in there. And looks like coming out around the rim too. And I've sprayed carburetor cleaner in there and parts cleaner, and it's all sandblasted, but I can't stop that oil from seeping out. So I'm not going to use that one. This is a steel pulley. This one is an aluminum pulley. They're the same size. I hope the aluminum will function as well. But I have a question for you. When is a parts cleaner, when is your parts cleaner not really a parts cleaner? Well, whatever it is in that parts cleaner, I think it is water-based. It's the stuff you get from Harbor Freight, I assume. The parts cleaner itself came from Harbor Freight. It was a freebie that I got off of Craigslist. And I'm going to do something dangerous here. This is a bushing here. Now I want you to remember, this transmission was all together and functioning. When I took it apart, I drove the lawn tractor around the yard, lawn mower around the yard, before I disassembled it. And these bushings were all nice and loose. Well, that one is stuck on. This one on this end is stuck on. And this one over here is stuck on. I think it's still stuck. Yep. And the one that was on this end was stuck on. But after a lot of work, I finally got it off. And whatever the grease is that was used on these did not react well with the parts cleaner solvent, and these were totally submersed, and you can see there's even rust particles in there, and that's not bare metal, but yeah. So now I have it soaking here in kerosene. And I'm hoping I'll be able to get these things back to working order. I mean, even the chain is kind of stiff, and it wasn't stiff before. So I'm hoping that the kerosene will help to loosen it up. Excuse me, if I have to, I will I'll soak it in some WD-40 or something like that. I had come out here today with the intent of cleaning, not cleaning, but assembling the steering box, but I was unable to get the proper screws for it. I'm not going to use the screws that came from the factory. They are these long quarter 20 screws. They're bolts, and I had already replaced the nuts that were on them with these I forget what they call them, but they're a locking nut anyway. And so I decided that I was going to get stainless steel. Well, none of the places I have been to here locally had any that were long enough to go into here. So, because I want to use stainless steel, and I'm going to use cap screws just like we used on our right angle gearbox, which you remember we assembled the other day. Yeah, you see the stainless steel cap screws on there. I'm using my phone, so that's why it's not focusing in real good up close. So I want to use cap screws for those, and I'm going to use cap screws for reassembling the motor and so forth. So I've made up myself a list, and I'm going to go online tonight when I get in the house and see what I can find and put in an order. Those will be all stainless steel. So I have these parts here. Oh, that's just nuts and bolts in there. One of the things I decided when I got working on the transmission gears, because I fully intended to start assembling the transmission today too. So I decided I need to clean my parts cleaner. And you can see that you would think that the parts cleaner would keep the shelves and stuff in here relatively clean. Not so. So anyway, it's due to have the fluid changed and the filter cleaned out and all of that good stuff. I have no complaints. I have been using this parts cleaner since I got it for free on Craigslist either 2 or 3 years ago, and it came with 10 gallons of parts cleaner. That parts cleaner fluid was in it. Only thing that was wrong with it, and you can see the outside looks like new, and the inside was like brand new. The guy had only used it a couple of times, and it was immaculate. Plus, it came with a pair of gloves, which I have underneath, I rarely use, and there were bunches of cleaning brushes and so forth. Anyway, I did have to replace the pump in it. And the pump that I put into it came out of one of those small square ones that they sell at Harbor Freight that I'd picked up at the dump. It was all rotted out on the bottom, but the pump still worked. And I'll put a little clip in here, maybe if I can find it, of when I brought that home from the dump and got the pump working again. And I was going to fix that parts clearance before I got this, obviously. But it was just so full of holes that it never happened. See what happens. Push the button. Yeehaw! Oh, I got a few holes to fix. It's running out there, and it's running out the bottom. And where else is it running out? Pretty good. Pretty good. Price is right. A little fixing, it'll be good as gold. I say there are just a few holes in the bottom. Can you see all those places shining through there? Yeehaw. There's almost more holes. And I actually ended up just sticking this dish pan inside of it. So yeah, that's what we've been puttering with today. I'm going to take these parts in the house, and I will get them wiped down and put some primer on them tonight. I haven't been doing anything more with this, except that I'm thinking, yeah, I didn't forget about that fan. This would go on and cover over the screws and the studs that are in there, and it will clean up nicely. This here fits just about perfectly, barely covering that hole, and it's a much cleaner look. I put that piece on here. It had a different knob on it. The stud on it is brazed on somehow. And I put that little round ball on it. It came out of my chrome junk drawer. But I have another thought. I know you could call me crazy if you want to. Well, you wouldn't be the first ones. I'm thinking not put a shroud on it at all. And then just take this and mount this directly onto the flywheel, which is all painted now and looks really nice. It's in the house curing. And maybe I'll insert another little clip right here of the final detailing that I did on the flywheel. Oh yeah, it's red, but I added something else to it too. Give it a little more eye appeal, you know? So I'm thinking that this might fit just inside of the fins on that flywheel. And where I'm not depending on the flywheel to cool the motor anymore, remember, think motorcycle now. I would have it all just kind of hanging out there. And remember, I do have a radiator shell in front of it that will be kind of a protectant for it. And I don't expect anybody's going to be sticking their fingers down there when it's running anyway. Even if I didn't have any of these covers on it, at the least it would have this, and this part here would be spinning inside of there. You know what I'm saying? That normally would get covered if it had a pull start on it. This didn't have a pull start. Well, I shouldn't say it didn't. It did at one point and I took it off. But anyway, I'm babbling. So those are the things that I'm thinking about. And I've been working on using the sand blaster today, as you saw, working good, working good. So, time for me to go in the house. Yep, it's 5:30. That's what it says on the gadget clock. Got a hammer for the minute hand and a saw blade for the hour hand. Pretty cool, huh? So until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. And I hope it's warmer where you are. Oh yeah, I had my heater going for a while today. I got it up into 40 in here earlier, but it's chilling down now, and it's about, yeah, it looks like it's about 35, I think. So it's getting cold. I don't know if you can see my breath there or not. All right, no more babbling. We have snow. Not much, just a dusting, and everything is like ice out there. It's like ice. Hope it's warmer where you are. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of snow falling still. Till next time, bye for now.